Hello, my name is Katie Clark and I work on behalf of Keromask. Now today I'm going to show you how to cover up blemishes and redness and dark circles under the eyes. Now I'm going to be using a light number 7 today to cover up the blemishes, as you can see here and under my eyes. Now I'm only going to cover one side of the face so you can see the difference of how well Keromask covers. Now you only need a small amount, like so, and squeeze just a small amount on the back of the hand, because what you can do, you can add to that at a later date when you need to. Now I'm going to use a makeup sponge. That's it, just a small amount. What I've been doing is just tapping and taking the excess off on the back of my hand, and I'm going to work underneath my eye to start with. And it's just about tapping motions, like working in. And I like using the sponge around the eyes because you can get right in the little creases. It's all about tapping and blending, like so. Now already you can see how well that's covered under my eyes. It's just straight away taking the darkness and the redness away. Apply just a tiny bit more. It's all about blending and working into the skin, not dragging, because you're just going to drag the product away. You want to work it into the skin. Now this product, as I said before, a small amount goes such a long way. It's easier to do thin layers and be able to add them because it's easier to work with when you're working with a smaller amount than what you are if you squeeze too much on the back of your hand. You can always add to it. Unfortunately, once you've squeezed the product out, you can't put it back in. Now this product, Keromask, you don't have to just use it on the face. It's available, you can use it all over the body. So if you've got a scar or a burn or a tattoo or rosacea, vitiligo, anything like that, you can use it on your arms, hands, face, legs, back, or absolutely anywhere. It's not just designed for the face. Now this product is also for men and women. I'm going to cover my blemish there. Now this product is also hypoallergenic and it's highly pigmented. So as I say, a little goes a long way. Now I don't like to tend to go right down my neck. So what I do is whatever's left on my sponge, I just kind of like blend it in and into my natural skin tone. So it's not, you don't get that harsh line that you would if you hadn't blended it. Now you don't have to cover, if you suffer with blemishes or dark circles, you don't have to cover the whole area. So if you just wanted to just cover underneath your eyes, I would just tap, pop a little bit on, blend it like that, and then kind of blend it down and outwards into your natural skin tone. So you don't have to cover the whole face if you don't want to. Do my forehead, which is quite red. It is just kind of like pushing in, not too hard, but you're kind of rolling it into the skin. Like, as you can see, I've still got quite a lot of product left on my hand. You don't need an awful lot. You can see it's covering really well. Now, when you're happy with the coverage that you've got, you go then into setting it. You'd leave it to dry for a minute or so, or you can go back over so it's still a bit red here. I'll just touch that up, like so. Make sure it's all kind of blended in to my hairline. So with your hairline, get the clean in and just kind of twist and roll. So we're blending it in all around. See? Make sure you get in the little creases of your nose. Now what I would do, where I've got my little blemish here, I'd pop a little bit on my finger and just tap. Same technique, so if you're using your fingers instead of a sponge, same rolling, dabbing and rolling technique and blending it into the skin. Now with a blemish, if it is an open blemish, if you've got acne and it's out and the skin's broken, we advise you not to apply this to any broken skin. But if it's acne scarring, that's absolutely fine. So you can still slightly see that there. So I'm just going to apply a tiny bit more. See? And then put it where I need it, and then just kind of stipple and then blend outwards. And once you're happy with the coverage you've got, so you then go in with your setting powder. So it's entirely up to you. I just find it a lot easier to go in with a sponge to start with, and then your finger to kind of blend the last remaining bits. Okay, so that's after. Obviously this is how my skin is and how well it's covered. So I'm going to let that dry for just a couple of seconds. Okay, so you can kind of do that if you want to, gently rub into your neckline. Like so. Now all you need when you're applying your powder is your powder brush. If you're obviously applying it to all over your leg, I would suggest you get the bigger powder brushes because it's easier. A lot more is covered in a bigger area. Now, the powders that we do are translucent, light, medium and dark. Now I would like to warm this up slightly, so I'm going to go for a medium powder. If you were happy with the colour, which I am happy with the coverage and the colour that I've got, but because it's on my face, I just want to warm it up slightly. So with a light, medium or dark powder, it's just got a slight pigment to it, so it can change the colour of the cream just slightly. If you were happy with the colour that you've got, if it was on your arm or on your leg, on your belly, and you didn't want to warm it up and change the colour, then obviously you would go for the translucent powder because it doesn't have a pigment to it and it won't change the colour of the cream. As I say, I'm going to go for a medium powder. I'm then going to pop my brush in, tap the excess off, and then it's the same technique, stipple movements. And it also takes that shine away. So if you suffer with oily skin and then you're putting the cream on, it just tones that shine away. Now applying this makes it waterproof and also stops it from smudging. Now, if you have set it with a powder and you feel like you could go over it a little bit more, maybe your blemishes are showing and you want to cover them a little bit more, you can. You don't have to wipe it all away. I will show you. Just cover this a little bit more. So it just warms that up slightly and tones it down. Now, if you get it in your eyebrows like I have, and it's kind of just dulled them down, it's just the powder and the cream. Just get a little comb, eyebrow comb, a clean spoolie, and just brush them through. You can wet the spoolie or the brush, and then you just brush them through, and it just takes that away and makes them darker again. Now I'm just going to show you if I wanted just to cover a little bit more. I'm going to use my finger and obviously cover, just go over the blemishes slightly. You just go straight back over it. You don't have to remove it. And then just blend it in. Tap it, stipple, blend. It's all about working it into the skin, using small amounts and then blending it around. And go a little bit more under my eyes. Gently tap and press. But every time you apply the cream again, you need to set with the powder. I've got loads left on my hand. Such a small amount goes a really long way. Now, if you've applied it around your eye, in the creases here, make sure you do really concentrate in setting it here, because it can then sit in the creases if you haven't set it. I'm going to go back in with my powder. Same way again. But I'm only going to go over the areas that I went back over. You can go back over your whole face if you want to. But it just warms that colour up slightly because it's on my face. Okay. Now I'm happy with the coverage that I've got there. But what I'll do, you can also use, if you want to go over just a wipe, because I've gone a little bit on my lip. Just take that away. And you can do the same on your brows. So, now that's a full coverage. As you can see, the redness and the blemishes that I suffer with, and they're all gone there. You can see a nice even coverage. Doesn't feel heavy, doesn't feel oily, it's really lightweight. That's why we really recommend that you just use a small amount and layer it. Thin layers, because if you go with a thick amount, it's hard to blend and it can look really heavy on your skin. Now, when you come to remove it, you can use the Keromask wipes, or you can just use soap and water, your facial wash, a cleansing toner, or your normal day-to-day makeup wipes. I'm going to use obviously one of our Keromask wipes, like so, and I'm just going to kind of press it all over my skin, so you can feel the moisture going into the skin. And I'm just going to slowly wipe away, gently. Wipe away. Things coming off. We do advise you remove this daily because you can see any changes to your skin. Also, it's not good to keep overlaying products onto your skin because your skin then can't breathe. I would always remove the Keromask with facial wipes, and then when you have a shower or a bath, use a face wash to make sure you get right in like this, so it's not sitting in the creases. You've removed every last bit. See, my blemishes are now showing again, and the redness. You don't want to rub your skin too hard. You just kind of want to remove the majority of the product, and then, as I say, wash your face, cleanse, tone, whatever your daily routine is. Now, one thing I do say is if you use a moisturiser or an SPF, apply this first. Apply any creams, moisturisers, anything like that you need to apply it before applying your Keromask, because anything that you apply on top, if it's oil based, it will just remove your product. We do that on a daily basis. Also, if you go swimming, anything like that, make sure you pat dry. Don't rub because you will remove it, so either pat it dry or let yourself dry naturally. I really hope you found this video useful, and thank you for watching. Take care.